Good morning, YouTube. Constitutionality News here. I ran across an article that was posted a few hours ago from Fox News Channel in North Carolina. An officer apparently was killed. Thought we'd kind of watch it together and maybe break in every now and then and make a little comment. Here we go.
Right now, a manhunt for the suspect that shot a North Carolina deputy. It comes just days after a horrific and deadly attack of a Massachusetts policeman. Officer Michael Chesna attacked with a rock and then shot dead with his own gun. The number of officers killed in the line of duty now skyrocketing to 30 this year alone.
It says, she said skyrocketing to 30. Compare that with about 725 civilians killed by police. Numbers are not adding up there, are they?
Our law enforcement panel is here to weigh in. NYPD Sergeant Joey Impietrice, the author of Street God, Pastor Demas Salivarios, and former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis. Thank you all for joining us. Sad under these circumstances. Let's go ahead and just take a look at some of these numbers here. As of July 15th, 2018, so far there have been 30 officers killed in the line of duty. You compare that to 35 total in 2017. The numbers are hard to look at. Joey, why do you think this is?
I believe it's misinformation to the public. You have people that stand in front of a podium and spew hate, and people are misinformed, and they really don't know the truth, and they just believe what they're listening to. For instance, Chicago, I believe it was, with the gentleman who had the firearm in the waistband, and officers were justified in shooting, and now there's people going out there and rebelling and protesting, and it just makes no sense. The guy has a firearm with magazines on him, and that's deadly physical force, and he goes to reach for his firearm. They should be able to fire and not worry about the repercussions.
And therein lies the problem. They should be able to fire and not have to worry about the repercussions. That's the problem. The police don't have to worry about being locked up for the rest of their life or being put on death row and facing a death penalty. All they got to worry about is being put on administrative leave with pay or without pay and a little slap on the wrist. The problem is the police are investigating the police. That needs to change. We need a civilian review board for officer-involved shootings. What do you think?
Ed, do you think the fact that social media is just the way we live nowadays, there are pictures everywhere, there's video everywhere, do you think that that's adding to this?
Oh, there's no question that's fueling the fire. But I agree with what Joey just said. You have police officers who we train, who the police chiefs train to respond in a certain way when faced with deadly force.
Yeah, okay, well, the chiefs are training the police, so we need to retrain the chiefs, apparently. Because I watched a short video earlier about a fella who was doing nothing but camping. And the police were determined to remove him. They removed him, okay. When he turned to walk away from police, they shot him 3 times in the back. He was on the ground bleeding out, but because he was still breathing and still moving, they felt it necessary to shoot him with beanbags and turn a dog loose on him. Where's the justification in something like that? I can understand a man reaching for a gun. Yeah, I can understand shooting. But I can't understand all the non-violent violence that the police are raining down upon us.
And it's just unbelievable that people are protesting this.
Pastor Demas, let's go to you here. Look, in any occupation, you're going to have a few bad apples, but I think for the most part, police officers are there to protect us. They are there to protect the community. Why do you see this being such a problem right now?
I mean, I'm in Chicago right now, but you know I'm from New York, and I'm 4 days on a hunger strike praying for peace to begin to take place, because there's such a breakdown right now with how people view police in a lot of the African American communities because of things that have taken place. But it's really sad to see this happening.
Preacher, pastor, I commend you on what you're trying to do, but honestly, I'll say a prayer for you, but I don't think it's going to do any good. The police are out of control, and the people are trying to take back their lives, and the police are not going to let it if they can help it.
That there's such distrust. People are scared, feeling like they're not going to get arrested, but feeling like they have to fear for their lives. And I hope that people can see that this is not the answer to gun it out or attempt to fight a cop. And to just hear this violence just breaks my heart. It really does.
How long are you going to be on this hunger strike?
I'm praying right now. I've been 4 days without food, and Bobby Sands lasted 60 days before going into a coma, and we're just going to do our best. Right now, I see no end until I can see a week of peace in Chicago, and every day we're talking to shooters on the street to try to resolve these issues and let them know, first, stop shooting each other, and to try to build relationships between them and the police force.
And you just targeted something that I want to get to, building relationships. Joey, how do we change the narrative and build the relationships again between law enforcement and the community?
Well, nowadays, community policing is a very big push all over the United States, and I believe that's what we need.
Now, that I agree with, community policing. The community needs to police the police. That I might agree with. Although, from listening to this guy, sorry to say, guys, but he'd be a real tyrant on the street. I'd hate to run into him. I really would.
Going back to people not trusting the police and using that excuse over and over again, I don't trust that. I don't believe it. I don't buy into it. People use that excuse every single day. We don't trust the police. We'll worry about being shot. We'll stop resisting. Listen to the police officers. Show respect. When respect is given, you get respect back.
That's that's another big problem. Stop resisting. See his mentality. Stop resisting. Listen to the police. Just because you got a badge on, son, don't mean you're God. Although I've run into a few officers that seem to think that.
You know, nowadays officers are very afraid to use physical force against anybody. This poor gentleman gets beaten with a rock when he has a firearm. Would have been justified, but he's afraid of being a statistic. And
no, they're not afraid of being a statistic. They're just afraid, period. And they're trained to shoot first and don't fucking worry about it. That's the problem.
that has to stop because it's hurting police officers all over the nation.
Yeah, I mean, Ed, it's so important that people remember officers are there to protect us. How do we make people realize that?
Well,
Well,
first
we
of
just
all,
have to
let's
keep
go to Admiral.
reiterating that's.
Go ahead, Ed.
We have to keep reiterating that because it's really vitally important that people understand that there are individuals out there who we run into over and over again who are violent, who are experiencing mental health problems. And
Well, my opinion, if you're running into these same people over and over again, take them off the street. If they're violent, lock them up if it's necessary. But what about the non-violent ones? Like the guy out on the street corner with a camera taking pictures of a building and you put a bullet in him. What about that one there, Chief?
we're asked to take care of this problem that should be handled by a different part of the government. It's landing in police officers' laps. They're doing the best that they can to protect people. And, you know, a woman named Vera Adams was murdered, 77 years old, in her own house in the middle of this incident. And Officer Chesna did an incredible job in protecting his community, but we couldn't protect that woman. And this is a total failure of our mental health system, of our criminal justice system, and our officers are paying the ultimate price.
Well, thank you guys for being there to do good and to protect your community. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.